Ahlan wa sahlan. My name is Emily Rodriguez. Welcome back to my podcast, where I talk about the stories that have shaped me and the voices that have inspired me. As you can tell, I'm in a different setting right now. Today, I am in Reno, Nevada. I want to jump into today's topic. Today's topic is a very interesting one. For those of you who do not know, I hope that it plants a seed in your head, something to do or look into so that maybe it could have the same effect. The topic that I am talking about is 75 Day Hard by Andy Frisella. Some of you guys may know what it is. I feel like most people that I talk to about it, they have no idea what it is. For 75 days, you have to follow this program, and here's what it entails. Number one, follow a diet. No cheat meals, no alcohol. 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside. Drink a gallon of water. Read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. It could be personal development. No audiobooks. And take progress pictures. If you fail anything, you start over. And it sounds pretty simple. It's 5 things. I have to say it is extremely difficult. For me, how I first got introduced to the program was one of the influencers that I follow on Instagram had posted about his podcast. And I know that she was somebody that inspired me. I liked her qualities. I liked her style. I thought, why not give it a listen? And after the first few episodes, I really fell in love with the podcast. And Mr. Andy Frisella is not for everybody. But I feel like I understand where he comes from. Once being in the dark and being somebody that couldn't see the way out. And then once you see the light, you want to shine the light on everybody so that they could find it as well. Now, everybody's different. Some people don't care to find the light. Some people ask themselves, well, I don't know how to get there. And I feel like this program was my light, my way to find a light. I wasn't in a bad space. I wasn't going through anything dramatic that I just wanted to find something to save me. Not at all. I've always been into personal development. I wanted something that I could use to challenge myself. And I only had the gym at that time. That's the only way I knew how to challenge myself. That's kind of where the scrambling came from. What else can I do that for one, I could get out of this plateau? And then for two, I can also build other skills within me that I may not be aware of. So when I first tried the program, it was December of 2022. And I remember I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. And Christmas came. I was like, after Christmas, I'm going to start. Because I wanted to drink alcohol on Christmas Eve. That's something that me and my family liked to do. And I just wanted that one last moment before going through this program. Because I wanted to go all in. I knew I wanted to go all in. And Christmas came. I had my last beverage. And I started the program. And first week was fine. I was okay. But then I started to slip up. And I started to slip up with the progress pictures. For me, for some reason, it was extremely difficult to take progress pictures every single day. Everything else, I would say was okay. But I will tell you that I failed the program at least 6 times. I could go back in my app because he has an app that you can download. And you could check off the things that you've done and go off the days as well. And you could also choose to start over. If you're brutally honest with yourself and you say, no, I did not complete this, start over. The button's there. It'll have you type in your name so that you're sure that that's what you want to do. And I kid you not, I failed. It took me a whole year to complete a program that should have only lasted 75 days. A whole year. Think about that. These little things, or at least at that time I saw as little, were extremely difficult. And they taught me a lot about myself, that I overlooked the little things, because there's a saying that says how you do one thing is how you do all things. Doing 2 45-minute workouts a day, that was not hard for me because I was already programmed to train. And since I was training for like an hour and a half, to me, 2 45s, I was like, cool, we could just split it up outside. No problem. Snow, rain, I don't care. I did it. Reading, not a problem. It was a little bit of a challenge because I hadn't read books since high school. And I always wanted to get back into reading books because I feel as though my vocabulary seems to expand a lot more and I speak a lot more fluently when I read books, just because you're memorizing some of the words that may catch your attention in the books. And so it wasn't as difficult, but it wasn't something I was used to. It was still getting done. The alcohol and the junk food, alcohol has never been a problem for me. But the junk food, when we talk about what junk food means, it's really anything that has sugar in it. It was extremely hard for me to cut all of that out. My protein pancakes couldn't have chocolate chips in it. I couldn't put maple syrup on my waffles. I couldn't even eat waffles. For me, that was extremely difficult. And after starting over, I started to get so fed up with myself, so frustrated with myself, because I couldn't understand why I couldn't complete these tasks. And I think that's what you need, is you need that wake up call, like, oh, you did not have all of this together. This is not as easy as it seems. And now we're here. And this is why we haven't gotten as far as I would like, as far as the image in my head goes. When I see my future, if I'm not able to tackle these little things that drive me insane, imagine the problems I would have or I could have when I'm running billion-dollar companies. It's very difficult if you can't tackle a progress picture. It taught me a lot of patience through the process. Even though I was failing, I also gave myself grace because I was brutally honest with myself. Very, very honest with myself from the start. It is not a diet program. It is not something to lose weight off of and something that you'll see your guaranteed physical results. No, there was physical results, but because I wasn't so focused on that, I was more focused on, who do I want to become? I want to become a woman of faith. I want to become an amazing mother. I want to become an amazing entrepreneur. And upon completing 75 Day Hard, I can genuinely say that that program is responsible for who I am today. Because now, I was never into alcohol as far as drinking it every day. I had it every holiday or whenever I hung out with my friends, which was not very often. But now it's like absolutely no alcohol. What you use that time that you're no longer feeding into these bad habits that you once had, such as consuming alcohol, consuming drugs, consuming useless entertainment, you then go to, well, let me learn about alcohol. Let me learn about food. Understanding that alcohol was poison, the thought of me ingesting poison and doing that to my body after going through this program made me realize it's not worth it. It's not something that I want to do. I've been sober now for a year and a few months. I don't miss it at all, just because I'm a completely different person now from who I was December 2022. And there's no shame in that. There's no nothing. It is what it is. You know, I made the decision to go through that hard year of getting this program done. And once I completed it, I saw, wow, these are the results that come from hard work, hard inner work. I don't think there's any work more difficult than the inner work that you do to yourself, because you're challenging your ego. You're challenging your knowledge. You're challenging your skills. Challenge. And us as human beings, that's difficult for us to grasp. I will say there has been negative effects to doing 75 Day Hard. I think a big reason why it took me so long also to do the program is because I was scared to complete the program and not feel worthy of completing it. Not feeling worthy of this new person that I was becoming. Fear of completing and not knowing what was next was difficult for me to grasp. And I think that's why I also subconsciously allowed myself to fail many times. And once I got the idea of, okay, once 75 days is up, we could then use those skills to create new routines, new habits, so that we don't go back to what we once knew. Because these routines and these habits that you're learning through 75 Day Hard are things that could easily go away. They're perishable if you don't use them. It is something I would recommend for anybody looking to change their life, change their routine, change the way that they speak and see things, who they surround themselves with, because it will have that effect on you, because you're putting in all this work, and the last thing you want to do is be surrounded by these negative influences that could compromise all the inner work that you're doing just to go back to exactly who you were. That's not the goal. The goal is not to complete this program and then, okay, I'm done. Let me go back to the homies and hey, what's up, everybody? Those are the same people. Will they do the program? Probably not. To them, it's like, Tommy over here is just on something else, but he'll be back. And you have to make that decision. No, I'm never going back. I don't want that for me. That's not for me. It's not my path. It's not my life. It's not my goal. Energy, it could either be positive energy, negative energy, something that could influence you in some way. And you have to protect that because all that work needs to be protected. But it takes a really strong person to look at themselves and say, okay, we can do this because it's something that we need to do. Why not check it out? Why not attempt it? It does not cost anything at all, but it is something that you have to look inwards to decide if you're ready for such a big change and commitment like that. But I promise you, it's worth it. That closes out Emily Rodriguez versus 75 Day Hard. Ciao, stay tuned for my next episode. This is my voice and this is my story.